Have you ever looked at an old clock? You can see all the gears turning. Each gear pushes the next one. For a long time, we thought the universe worked just like that. We called this idea materialism. It says, everything is just matter, just tiny bits of stuff bumping into each other. This story told us that life, our thoughts, and our feelings were just accidents, emerging properties of the brain. They were the random ticks of a giant, unthinking clock. But what if that clock is broken? What if we are looking at the world through the wrong lens, seeing only the gears but missing the true craftsmen who set them in motion? A new field of science is emerging to tell this new story. It is sometimes called the new physics of living systems. This field is brave. It looks at the evidence that the old materialism ignores. It asks bigger questions. What if life is not just a chemical accident? What if consciousness is not just a ghost in the machine? This new science suggests that the universe might be far more interesting and far more connected than we ever dared to imagine. It offers a path toward a more complete and hopeful understanding of reality itself. In this video, I will share 3 powerful proofs that challenge the old materialist story. We will look at the tiny, super-efficient machines inside our cells. We will explore how bodies seem to follow a hidden plan to heal themselves. And we will consider a bold new idea that turns science upside down. It suggests that consciousness itself might be the source of everything we see and touch. These proofs are not just theories. They are based on real experiments and solid data. They are clues pointing toward a new and more profound truth about the universe and our place within it. The old story of materialism was simple, and for a time, very useful. It said that everything is made of matter. Your brain is matter. The chair you are sitting on is matter. The stars in the sky are matter. And matter follows simple, predictable rules. Think of it like a game of billiards. Balls collide. One hits another, creating a clear chain of cause and effect. This view gave us powerful technologies, cars, computers, medicines. It made the world seem understandable, a machine we could take apart and study gear by gear. But this simple story has its limits. It has a very hard time explaining you. According to strict materialism, your thoughts are just the firing of neurons. Your feeling of love is just a chemical reaction. Your sense of self, your I, is an illusion created by the brain's machinery. This is a cold, empty picture. We become puppets made of meat, dancing to physical laws we cannot control, alone in a universe that does not care. This mechanical view struggles most with life itself. Living things are not like simple machines. Complex, creative, adaptive. They heal, they learn, they reproduce. A rock does not do these things. A clock does not do these things. Look closer at life's inner workings. There's sophistication and efficiency that makes our tech look clumsy. Less like accident, more like a masterpiece of engineering. The problem: the old story leaves no room for a director. In the materialist clockwork, there's no conductor. But the music of life is too beautiful, too ordered, too complex to be just noise. The evidence we will explore suggests there is, in fact, a conductor, not a person, not a god in the sky, but a fundamental principle woven into the fabric of reality. Our first proof against the old materialist clock comes from deep inside our own bodies. Every cell is a bustling city of tiny machines. One of the most important is the DNA reading machine. When your body needs to build a protein, this machine has to read your DNA code. This process is incredibly complex. Scientists estimate it performs around 100 billion computational steps for each base pair it processes. That is more calculations than a supercomputer performs in a second. These tiny biological machines work with almost perfect energy efficiency, around 99.99%. This means almost no energy is wasted as heat. In contrast, the engine in your car is lucky to be 30% efficient. Most energy is lost as heat. The laws of classical physics, the old clockwork rules, cannot explain this. The answer seems to lie in quantum mechanics, the science of the very, very small. At this tiny scale, the world works in ways that seem like magic. Particles can be in many places at once. They can borrow energy from the future. They can pass through solid barriers as if they were ghosts. It was long believed the warm, messy cell would destroy quantum behavior, but the evidence now shows this is wrong. To understand how life uses these quantum tricks, let's look at two of them: quantum tunneling and coherence. First, imagine throwing a ball at a very tall wall. In the quantum world, there's a tiny chance it appears on the other side. This is quantum tunneling. Coherence is when many particles move together, in perfect step, like a marching band, flowing smoothly and quickly. Quantum coherence lets them transfer energy and information with incredible speed and efficiency. In cells, electrons tunnel through energy walls instantly, speeding reactions by factors of trillions. In photosynthesis, energy flows like a perfect wave to where it needs to go in a picosecond, a trillionth of a second. These are not classical, clunky gears. They are sophisticated quantum engines performing the miracles of life. This shatters the idea that life is just chemistry. It's chemistry guided and optimized by deeper quantum laws, the first major crack in the old clock. Our second proof comes from Michael Levin and how living things build and repair themselves. Distributed cognition. Intelligence is not only in the brain. Cells across the body think and work together, as if each has a copy of a hidden blueprint. Levin calls the guiding intelligence the virtual governor, a higher-level pattern that notices mismatches and restores the intended form. DNA is like a list of materials. The blueprint, the virtual governor, is the organizing information above it. This blueprint is stored not in chemicals, but in bioelectric signals passing between cells. A silent electrical conversation tells cells what to become and where to go. The body is not bottom-up machinery, it's collective intelligence guided from the top by a goal. The most famous example is the salamander. If you cut off its leg, it will grow a new one. Levin transplanted a regrown limb to the salamander's back. Healthy cells, but in the wrong place. Signals from the virtual governor said, "You are not supposed to be a leg here." Over time, the limb's structure broke down. The identity of the cells is maintained by a larger body-wide information field, the virtual governor. By changing electrical signals, Levin tricked the blueprint, making a flatworm grow a head where its tail should be, even two heads.
This isn't in your DNA, it's in the electric signals guiding cellular behavior. Levin's research highlights how bioelectric signals can store information that DNA alone can't.
In fact, what we also discovered is that tissues have anatomical memory. So here's a planarian, and normally when you cut a planarian into pieces, every piece gives rise to a normal flatworm, one head, one tail. Now we can perturb briefly this bioelectric circuit after cutting and confuse the piece about how many heads it's supposed to have. In fact, we can reset that bioelectric pattern to dictate having two heads. And in fact, the middle piece here has grown, you can see that here, has grown two heads. But the most amazing thing is that if you then again take the middle piece out of that worm and culture it again in plain water with no more manipulation of any kind and simply let it regenerate, it will once again make a two-headed animal, despite the fact that it has a normal genome, a normal genomic sequence that we have not edited.
We are learning to edit the plan that guides bodies, opening huge implications for medicine and what it means to be alive. Our third proof comes from Dr. Anita Goel, who proposes a reversal of the old scientific paradigm. For centuries, matter and energy. Goel adds two more fundamentals: information and consciousness. The old story, matter creates mind. The new story, consciousness may give rise to matter.
We model that this nano machine, when it's moving forward, it could be in a quantum superposition of these internal states. One speculation is, does it use some sort of quantum search algorithm to quickly and efficiently find in the sea of candidates the right molecule? Could be like a sensor that's picking up quantum sensing information about its environment.
If the most essential molecular machinery in our bodies indeed operates quantum mechanically, this could lead to a new physics that accounts for life and consciousness.
The music that you as an organism make is an interplay of the information in your DNA base pair sequence, but also the information embedded in your environment. What if consciousness is something fundamental to the fabric of reality?
Information is woven into the fabric of reality. The salamander's blueprint is fundamental information. Quantum coherence in life is information processing at the deepest level. Information is not a byproduct. It's a key player in creation. Consciousness sits at the top of this hierarchy, reversing the one-way street. A conscious universe can embed goal-directed behavior, the virtual governor. Consciousness is not a ghost in the machine. The machine is a manifestation within consciousness. This doesn't mean your mind creates your desk. Both emerge from the same conscious source. Resonant with all is mind traditions. Now a scientific hypothesis with empirical evidence. A framework to tackle how life began and the nature of consciousness. The clockwork universe is broken. The simple story of materialism is failing to explain our world. The evidence from quantum biology, distributed cognition, and the new physics of life paints a new picture. The universe is a coherent, interconnected whole, more like a grand, unfolding thought. The orchestra of life is a beautiful symphony. Consciousness is its conductor. This is not the end of science. It's the beginning of a more exciting chapter. If consciousness is fundamental, we are intrinsic parts of a meaningful, creative universe, inviting connection, reverence, responsibility. Communicate with the body's virtual governor. Heal disease, regenerate tissues, harness quantum coherence, like a new Copernican revolution. Many questions remain, but the path is clear. We must follow the evidence, beyond old limits. The world is not a cold, dead clockwork. It is alive, intelligent, brimming with wonder. We are moving from a universe of things to a universe of thoughts. A new world of possibility is waking up before our very eyes.
If you like these subjects, please like, share, and subscribe.